Turning to what's coming up on the big screen this month, it's a very packed month. We start off right out the gate on the first with Thunderbolts, which is the new kind of Marvel vehicle. It is a film that kind of brings together minor villains from other films in the series, puts them together and makes a kind of new superhero team of people who are not necessarily the most righteous, moral, upstanding characters. Now, you had a look at the trailer for this one. What did you think?
I must say I've not been. That's not a genre I've watched a lot of at all. But this one looks really good. Florence Pugh is always great, and she's so funny. And unless they've used all the funny bits in the trailer, it's very funny. And I just loved some of her lines. It's like, so none of us can fly. What are we going to do? Shoot and punch?
Yeah, I think that's part of the appeal. I think is this sense that they are not the untouchable super creatures of some of these other properties. Obviously, Marvel, I think, has been on a little bit of a downward turn lately, so it'll be interesting to see if this can pull it back a little bit. But I think the quality of that cast bodes well, particularly Florence Pugh, putting herself into it in the way that she does.
And I think, too, it's got a bit of zeitgeist to it, too, in the sense of people feeling helpless and powerless. And, what can we do?
To stand up against this kind of all-powerful enemy. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Now, another one coming up we have was at the British and Irish Film Festival last year, Lies We Tell, which arrives on the 8th. Now, this is kind of a gothic story. What was it that you respond to in this film?
Well, I've always loved those stories like Jane Eyre, where there's this orphaned... there's always an orphan sent to some house where things are not going to go well.
Yes, absolutely.
And this looks like this on steroids, and the gothic element to it gives it a very, spooky kind of undertow to it too. Yeah. So I just love the look of it and the tone of it, and I'm there for that kind of story. And she looks quite feisty and quite up to the task of dealing with her awful uncle.
Who's trying to marry her off. When I was talking to Fergus Grady, who runs the British and Irish Film Festival, at first I thought, does this have some sort of supernatural or spiritual element? But he said it doesn't. It's actually very grounded, but it has that kind of haunted gothic suggestion, which is really interesting, I suppose.
It is, because it just keeps you attuned on a slightly different level, doesn't it?
Yeah, to the vein of Jane Eyre and all those kinds of properties. Fantastic. We also have coming up a whole bunch of very different kind of tonal swings this month. We have The Wedding Banquet, which is a really wonderful director, Andrew Ahn, who made a great film called Driveways and then a film called Fire Island. Really, really wonderful kind of under-the-radar filmmaker. So this one is a remake of the Ang Lee film. Has a great cast, including Lily Gladstone in her first role since Killers of the Flower Moon. It's this kind of queer romantic comedy. We've also got the return of the Final Destination series. Now, I, being a bit of a trashy horror fan, love the Final Destination movies, so I'm happy to see the return of Bloodlines, which is going to be the latest kind of salvo in this very, very strange, enjoyable horror series. One of the big films coming this month is The Final Reckoning, the Mission Impossible film that is rumoured to be the final go-around for Tom Cruise. Are you a fan of the Mission Impossible films?
Well, like probably many people, I love the first one. Well, I'm sure we went to the second one, but I can't even much remember it.
Yeah,
that first one was just, I loved it. The character was so great, and it was
holds up
cool.
So well.
And the music, and it was really good. But I believe the last one got quite critically well received, did it?
It was, but it was a bit underwhelming at the box office. I think it did itself no favors by opening a week before Barbie and Oppenheimer. Or 2 weeks or something like that. So it'll be interesting to see if the audiences come back for this one. The Phoenician Scheme is the new Wes Anderson film. Now this one has a very enjoyable trailer. Benicio del Toro is the star, but of course, as with most Wes Anderson films, it has an enormous cast. It does look very fun. It obviously, more than ever, Wes Anderson films, it's kind of an acquired taste, I think, in terms of how much you can kind of go with his diorama style filmmaking. Are you a fan?
Yeah, it is interesting for me. Like, we went to see The French Dispatch, and, I've seen things in the past.
Yeah.
And, it's exactly what you're saying. I find it visually absolutely amazing and clever, and it's interesting to see actors inhabiting that diorama world, but it doesn't connect on any emotional level. So I find I go and watch it, and I come out and I don't really...
Yeah, right.
I don't think about it again.
Yes.
So that, for me, I like something that makes me feel or upends something.
Yes, I've heard this quite a bit in terms of people who find the style very kind of noteworthy, but alienating. There's a little bit of a barrier there. And actually, the thing that I really enjoyed from him are the short films, the Roald Dahl short films that he made that went on Netflix recently. Those, I think, overcame that a little bit, and they had some interesting elements to it underneath.
I'll have to have a look, because,
they are worth a watch.
Ken Russell was that director, British director. Years and years ago, I think it was the only person on earth who ever saw them in New Zealand, were these short things he made about Dante Gabriel Rossetti, the painter and poet, and various people, Isadora Duncan, the dancer.
Yeah, right.
They were short little films, and they were just brilliant.
Right.
And perfect.
Oh, I need to check them out.
Little biographies of these people.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
That's great.
I've never had anyone I can talk to them about because I won't see them.
Oh, I better check them out.
And I love them better than, he's a great filmmaker, but then his later full length
or something
yeah.
Wow. Oh, you should definitely check out these Wes Anderson shorts. They might put you onto the Phoenician Scheme. We also have Bring Her Back, which is the sequel from the Filippo brothers. Not a sequel, sorry. It's the follow-up to Talk to Me, which was their big kind of sudden sleeper cult horror hit. Very, very scary movie. This one also looks very, very scary. Also coming up, we have Bob Trevino Likes It, which is a comedy with John Leguizamo, the great John Leguizamo. We have Marlon Williams' Na'au e Rua, Two Worlds, that comes up on the 1st. For people who are fans of Marlon Williams, that is a must-see. It's about the recording of his first Tadeo album.
That looks great.
Are you a Marlon fan?
Yes, I want to see that.
Yes, absolutely.
That stood out for me, yeah.
Clown in a Cornfield, does what it says on the tin, I believe. It's a slightly goofy horror. The thing that makes me interested in it is it's from the guys who made this very, very funny comedy horror called Tucker and Dale versus Evil, which is a very silly but very, very enjoyable horror film. Tall Tales is the visual album from Tom York, with some very, very... very, very esteemed collaborators. Looks very interesting. We have Forgive Us All, which is a self-funded New Zealand zombie horror flick. That one, we have the poster here behind us.
Oh, that one, yeah.
It looks very, very...
I did look at the trailer, yeah.
It looks very interesting. It's very commendable to have put something together of the sort of scale and that kind of thing on a self-funded budget. So that's very, very impressive, worth keeping an eye out for. Hurry Up Tomorrow, another visual album that's from The Weeknd to do with his new album. The Salt Path is Jason Isaacs and Gillian Anderson in a kind of moving, kind of tear-jerking cancer drama. We have Lilo and Stitch, which is the live-action remake of the beloved Disney property. Listen, I'm not going to be rushing out to the cinema for that one because I'm not huge on those live action remakes, but I'm sure there'll be an audience for it. And Karate Kid Legends, which unites stars of older Karate Kid films, Jackie Chan, Ralph Macchio, in a new Karate Kid story, which should be a bit of fun as well. Lastly, the Capitol Film Club presents Orson Welles' The Trial. So Capitol Film Club runs every month. It comes along at the end of every month. I present it with my partner Amanda Jane Robinson. We show a film that hasn't been shown on New Zealand screens rarely, or if ever. We try and find kind of gems from throughout cinema history. This month we have Orson Welles' The Trial. Orson Welles, the director of Citizen Kane, popularly thought of as the greatest film ever made. His career afterwards is very, very fascinating as well. This is an adaptation of the Franz Kafka novel. Stars Anthony Perkins of Psycho fame. It is a very, very visually distinctive film. Fascinating, powerful filmmaking.
What year was that?
60 something. I should know that, but I don't. But it is well worth seeking out. It is a beautiful, beautiful black and white film, and that will be showing on the 28th of May.
Sounds good.